Hello, friends. Happy Friday. I hope your weekend is off to a great start. Mine sure is, and it's great to see you here. Smoking the Matches Memorial Friday Savinelli with Haunted Bookshop, as is tradition, and glad to see so many folks turned out already. Big crowd tonight. Let's see, we got Clarence Woods, St. David's Pipe, Tony 513. How you been, Tony? Great to see you. Welsh Piper 62. Good to see you, sir. Corvette Jim, Cliff Higgins, Farmer Cliff. I'm sorry, Cliff. I shouldn't call you that anymore. From now on, you're Cliff in the Garden of Eden. Cliff knows what that means. Puny Pipe Man, Big Dave, Corvette Jim. I think I got you. You get two hellos, Corvette Jim. Signalman Tony from Rhode Island. How you doing, Tony? Big Dave. The Tunnel Take. Bona Piper. Hello, Christian. Piper said. MTMTB. And George Tiedemann. Good to see you guys. Wonderful. So many folks have turned out already. There's Michael Case having some Coke Zero. Wow. I am having some, actually I believe it's the last of the McClellan Scotch, which is really nice stuff. There's Tony DeRusha, Humdrum. All the cool kids are out tonight. Been a good week. Busy, but good. And no real complaints to speak of, which, what's the point? I did have a little technical difficulties getting things started here. For some reason, the camera was acting a little wonky. So if everything goes black, just hang in there. I'll get back to you. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but it was odd. The computer went through a software update earlier today, and things just didn't seem to be happy this evening when I started to set up for the live stream. There's Bearwolf and Miss Kathy. Hello there, Steve and Kathy. Good to see you. Even the artificial flowers are wilting. Yeah, it's hot. Not too bad here. Not too bad, but definitely warm. Armchair Piper, how you doing, Ed? So I got a couple things I wanted to tell you about. I think I might have mentioned this last week, but I got my car back, and I think I stuck it at the very end, and I know a lot of you folks were interested, so I'll just quickly tell you that the car, well, first off, and I know Voodoo is out there, I saw him pop up earlier, the loose nut behind the wheel is no longer loose, so that's been fixed, and it's interesting. So if you don't remember the story, and God, why would you remember the story? The steering wheel was loose. It wasn't loose. It just wouldn't react as quickly as it used to. There'd be like a short period where it turned free and then kind of clunked in, and then it would turn. And the guy at my local shop, who's been servicing the car for a couple years now, he said that I needed a new steering wheel shaft, but he couldn't source the part. And he told me if I can source the part, he'll put it in for me and he'll charge me about $500. So I thought, well, that's great, but I got to get this done. I went to the dealer, and the dealer was really snarky with me. He said, well, we're not going to trust that guy. We have to do diagnostics, and if it might cost $2,000, and you got to pay for the diagnostics whether we do the job or not. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. So I said, okay, fine. I'm going to find the part and have the other guy do it. So I spent a lot of time trying to find the part. And the best I could do was to go either through Amazon or eBay. And I just didn't feel comfortable about that. And I started to think, well, what if I get this part, and the part's like $400, and I take it to the guy and he gets the car apart and he needs another part that he can't source. I just thought maybe the dealer is a better option. And then the car made the decision for me. I was driving to work a couple weeks ago and the darn thing just shut down on me. And it was odd because it was like the engine just was never running. There was no sputtering or anything. It just stopped. And then I turned the key and it would start right up again. So anyway, I get it towed to the shop because I couldn't drive it. And of course, they can't reproduce the problem. Happened to me 3 times, I think, on my way into the parking lot. And then the tow truck driver had an issue trying to get it up on the ramp. And so I knew it wasn't drivable at that point. But by the time they worked on it, there was no problem evident. They did find out, though, that the steering wheel shaft was not a steering wheel shaft problem. It was actually the coupler, which is a much less expensive thing. It only costs $500 in total to get that fixed. So that was nice. But they couldn't reproduce the problem. The guy drove it, and I let him keep it because I didn't need the car. I had my wife's by this point. And they kept it for 4 or 5 days and tested it every day. And it only once stalled on them. So they don't know what the problem is, and the advice was, well, just keep driving it until it gets worse, which is comforting. Yeah, so anyway, long story short, there's a lesson buried in there somewhere. I don't quite know what it is, but it's got to do with trusting the local mechanic, and which I want to do. I want to support the local mechanic. I don't like the dealer. But the local mechanic was wrong, and I didn't drive the car for a really long time because the local mechanic was wrong. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's my car story. They did do, let's see. Oh, Phil Rivera. How you doing, Phil? Good to see you tonight. And Sailor is in smoking Cornell and Deal Cobb with Old Joe Krantz White and an extra large Jim Martini. Sounds good. And there's ENAS Dad. Good to see you, Robert. They did tell me that they thought I should have and this is going to sound like something I'm making up, the throttle cover blown out. I think those were the words he used. And he said that should be done every some number of miles, and it doesn't look like it's ever been done on the car. And I was like, well, you serviced the car for the first 5 years that I owned it, and you never mentioned this to me. So I let them blow out the throttle cover, and maybe that was the problem, and maybe that's why they haven't been able to reproduce it, and I haven't been able to reproduce it. I don't know, but so far so good. I just take a piece of wood in the car with me and knock on it every time I start it up. Indeed, Phil, I'll just keep driving until it strands me in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Actually, I don't have any plans to drive through the Mojave Desert anytime soon. But I was going to take it up to Vermont probably later this summer, and my wife's telling me not to, but that's just going to make me want to do it all the more. So we'll see. Throttle body, maybe those were the words. Yes, lots of people saying throttle body. Okay, I thought it was throttle cover, but throttle body sounds better. Yes. Is that something that they blow out? Sorry, I'm an idiot when it comes to modern cars. Got one of my Tamper Tantrum tampers tonight. Beautiful bloodwood, hand carved. Love the work that Jeff does. And he said in a recent video that he's going to be carving some more of these, so might be some available soon. And this means that I finally got to my Boxo tampers. So things are starting to get shifted around here in the shop, and there's a light at the end of the very, very long tunnel. Bona Piper is giving me excellent advice, saying don't let it turn into a money pit, and don't worry, Christian, I will not. Artie plays, not sure the mechanic was wrong on the coupler. The coupler is a steering wheel shaft that leads to the rack and pinion. It's very common for the steering shaft / coupler to go bad. I think it's a play on words. Interesting, Artie. Although the cost of the parts was very different. I mean, they said the part was like $50 at the dealer, and the prices I was finding for the shaft was, closer to $400. And I think Phil's telling me to the mass airflow sensor, spray that with some cleaner, and I'm going to look for that and give that a shot too. Herferville, how you guys doing? Yes, Jeff does make a mean tamper. He does indeed. I really love it. It's interesting, some tampers I like because of the way they sit in my hand, like the Larry Blackett tampers. There seems like always to be a good place to rest your hand on. This one I like because it's so, I don't know if dynamic's the right word for it, but there are places where you can get a grip on it, of course, but it's something that just constantly feels different in your hand as you're using it, and It's a different experience. I really like it. Christian, on your point about the money pit, I get it, and I have a very clear uh, idea of how much money I will spend on this car before I decide to chuck it. But right now, the price of cars, new and used, is ridiculous. And frankly, I don't think, one car payment and I've paid for the repairs that I've done. So it's not that big of a deal right now. Yes, Michael, what's money for but to be spent on essential things? Indeed. And these days, those essential things seem to be taking up all the money. Ah, good to hear it there, Steve, Bearwolf and Miss Kathy. The, Steve got in touch with me, I guess earlier in the week, about filling in a hole in a stem with black super glue. And we think the problem might have been that it was just too big of a hole and it had to be done in layers, and it sounds like that's working out. So good deal, Steve. Yeah, Tony, I might get a horse. Or maybe a sled and dogs, although I have to put wheels on the sled in the summertime. Datsun 520 wagon. Yep, 510. Yeah, yeah. Okay, Big Dave, I'll check out Scotty Kilmer. Thank you. Yes, Haunted Bookshop is an essential item. And don't tell my wife or Everett Young, but this came in the mail today. I figure it's all going to get pressed into cake, and I'm not going to be able to get it. And there was a bunch of 4th of July sales. I got that from Pipes and Cigars. I think it was 17% off. Yeah, Sailor, we're being driven to something there. Oh, Big Dave, what's embarrassing about that is that that's in a box of, it's got friends. I'm stocking up. Paul the Piper, how you doing, Paul? Great to see you. Yeah, Phil, there probably will be some deals coming, which is a shame. I mean, I feel bad for those people that can't make the payments. No, Ed, it'll be a couple weeks worth. Burley Nut Bob, how you doing, Bob? Thank you, Paul. Once again, reminding everybody that the thumbs up button does help us get the word out, helps the family grow here. And that's not just true on my channel, but when you're watching anybody's YouTube pipe videos, let that algorithm know that there's people out there watching so that we don't get marginalized. And there's Ron Hardcrackers checking in. Good to see you tonight, Ron. Yeah, Phil, I don't know if it's essential, but it doesn't hurt for sure. And these days, channel survival is You know, it's a tricky topic that I don't really want to get into, but it sure doesn't hurt, and I recommend everybody do it on everybody's video. I mean, I haven't had a lot of video time lately, but I will sometimes look at my feed and just start videos, play them for a minute, hit the thumbs up, because I think it's important. You know, unfortunately, I just don't have the time to. Even if I wanted to watch all the videos that come up in one day, it would probably take me the whole darn day to do it. MTMTB acquired a custom-built clean the stem per my video and it worked great. Oh, you're welcome, MTMTB. I'm glad it was helpful. Tony, not really much. Well, a little bit of rain. We got a little bit yesterday, but not anything substantial. You know, I still had to water the garden. One payment left on the Honda Pilot. Congratulations, Ian Astad. That's fantastic. Rihanna O'Keeves, hello. Good to see you tonight. That's right, Phil. There's a reason everybody pushes the thumbs up. You know, it's not just a ego stroke. It really is important. And you know, for that matter, if you don't like the video, hit the thumbs down, because that's equally important. Not that it makes anybody feel good, but it does let the algorithms know that somebody's watching. I probably just doubled everybody's thumbs down. Sorry. Wow, you got a tornado on Wednesday, Tony. I hope all was okay and, you know, no damage. Or at least no damage for you. I'm sure somebody was unlucky. I feel bad too, St. David's, but the truth is it's just a matter of time, and, you know, we all got lives. There's only so much we can do. So I try to jump around. I try to, you know, catch. There's a few people that I'll always watch because they're, you know, good friends, and then everybody else I try to just give equal time to, and that's the best you can do. Preacher Man Piper, hello. Good to see you. Yes, audience interaction. That's right, Phil. The tornado hit the fire department. Wow. Good point, Ed. You won't go to heaven with a thumbs down. I love that. Every time I see one of Ed's videos, that line just kills me. I seem to be burning through the haunted bookshop pretty quickly today. Yeah, Paul, you know, it's funny. I've gotten them and they don't bother me. You know, I don't care about the thumbs down. I used to get them automatically. I used to actually get one on the live stream before I even started it. So there was somebody out there that was just seeking me out and hitting thumbs down. It doesn't matter. But it would be nice if somebody really had a problem with you, if they'd get in touch, and, you know, maybe it would be helpful. Maybe it would be good constructive criticism. Oh, sorry to hear that, Preacher Man Piper. Still immobile. That's not good. Hopefully you'll be on the mend soon. Wow. St. David's pipe, almost a whole pouch of Sir Walter Raleigh. You're moving into Everett Young territory with that. You're right, Paul. You're right. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Phil, I've had those folks. I think they got tired of it. Yeah, the other thing you gotta think about is, you know, Michael Case is asking when's the last time I had constructive criticism. I'll answer a different question. When's the last time I had constructive criticism on YouTube? And it's been a very long time. Hey, Bob Kraus, how you doing, Bob? So before I get off track, the other thing to keep in mind about thumbs down is you really don't know. You know, sometimes you watch a video and like it's something sad. You don't want to thumbs up that. And I always feel bad about it. You know, I just don't feel right giving a thumbs up if somebody's saying, you know, oh, I don't want to give examples, but you know, something sad that happened in their life. I just don't feel right giving them the thumbs up. But I don't give them a thumbs down either. But I can imagine some people might think that's like saying, oh, that's unfortunate or something. I don't know. I don't know. YouTube's a weird world. Ah, Tony likes the rooster picture. Actually, it's a really low fidelity version of that picture. I got to replace that with a better one. It was taken in Ocean City, Maryland at a little roadside gas station diner type place. We didn't actually go in there. We pulled off to take that photo because I wanted to I wanted to try to get the owner to sell it to me so I could send it to Phil, but he wouldn't budge. Yeah, I do the same. I didn't mean to say I give those kind of videos thumbs down. It's just that I can understand how people could be conflicted in that situation and maybe not understand what the thumbs down actually means. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. Foothorn Maximus. Jim PM, good evening to you and happy Friday. And Boris the Piper is here. Good to see you, Boris. And name that pipe. Happy Friday, sir. I think I might be done with my haunted bookshop. I'm going to give it one more tamp and light. Have a bit of this McClellan. I do like that. It's revitalized my interest in Scotch. I got you, Phil. So I got some news that's probably not going to resonate well with you folks. We were talking about Popeye last week. Yeah, Phil, hold the presses. We were talking about Popeye last week. I don't know if anybody has seen the latest in the world of Popeye. And there's two items. So there is a Popeye comic strip that's still in papers. I haven't looked at a newspaper, at least not a daily newspaper, in quite a while, and I don't think I've seen a Popeye comic strip in a long time, but apparently there is still a syndicated Popeye comic strip out there. And because it's unbelievably, it's coming up on 100 years since Popeye was first produced. They're trying to reboot the cartoon. Popeye the woke guy indeed. So in the cartoon, and this probably bothered me more than the other thing, but in the cartoon, Popeye doesn't have a pipe anymore. He has a whistle. Yeah, he has a whistle. I don't know if he's still a sailor or not, but I'm sure that it's perfectly normal to see a sailor walking down the street with a whistle. Popeye's chicken. And yes, I could get. We were at the grocery store the other day, and I picked up a Popeye-sized can of spinach, and I said to my wife, "There's just no way he kept this in his shirt." She just continued to walk down the aisle. Yep, Popeye with no pipe. He has a whistle. He might be on the patch. Piper said he might be. It gets worse. The story in the comic strip, and I don't know much detail about what they're doing, but the headline was current comic strip artist says they will be making Popeye less heterosexual. I don't know. I mean, you can kind of think through the Popeye characters and kind of have fun with that, but I just don't understand. I mean, if you want to do that, then create something new and do it and see if people like it. But instead they take things that have been around for 100 years and change them and wind up, alienating a big chunk of their audience. Funny, sometimes I just can't see one word. Popeye imposter. So the Jewel thing, Big Dave, from what I understand is that there was an injunction issued. So apparently the Jewel folks filed a injunction and it was approved by a judge, so they're allowed to keep selling, but the FDA ruling still is there. It just needs to be litigated. Yeah, I'm seeing I'm seeing some suggestions about what the new Popeye comic strip might look like. Name that pipe's going to try Old Joe Crayons. I'm going to have some Old Joe Crayons when the Haunted Bookshop is done. St. David's Pipes Jewel is one of these vaping things. And Paul's making a lot of references to cartoons I don't know about. I mean, I know they exist, but I'm not getting the jokes, Paul. I'm sure other people are. Popeye gets into interior decorating. Yeah, Michael. And I want to be clear about this. I don't really care if they want to make a cartoon about that kind of stuff. I don't care. I'm not going to watch it. It's just not my thing. But there's lots of cartoons I don't watch. In fact, I don't watch the vast majority of them. I just watch Popeye and the Pink Panther. But why take something that's 100 years old and gotta tear it down, gotta make it into something else? I don't get it. Yeah, Ron. Well, it's it's happening everywhere. I mean, it's not just Netflix. You know, Disney's taking a big hit. I don't know. The economics don't make sense, but it seems like there's more going on here than just simple economics. You know, for years, tobacco was protected because of the economics. And that all seems to have gone out the window. You know, Pennsylvania always had some of the lowest taxes because there was a lot of tobacco grown in Pennsylvania. And I don't know, it just isn't that way anymore. Patrick Grant, how you doing, buddy? Oh, Paul. So next pipe, I've been smoking this today. It's my 7LE 622 that I re-stemmed, and it's a great pipe. I put this on Instagram this morning because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of computer work today, and it's a perfect pipe for that because it's comfortable and it hangs nicely. You can clench it, and yeah, I find myself clenching the pipe and the tobacco is long gone. Like, oh yeah, I got a pipe in my mouth. Got to refill that. And I'm going to fill this with some old Joe Krantz. And after the first bowl, I decided to ream this morning. It was pretty caked up, and boy, you get a much longer smoke out of it when you ream it. So what else is going on? Anything you guys want to talk about? I can tell you about the plans I'm making for my wife's birthday. Not that anybody would be interested, but Welsh Piper, Old Joe Krantz is essentially Haunted Bookshop with more Red Virginia. So it's a bit sweeter, but very good blend. That's a good point, Michael. I don't think anybody could argue that Haunted Bookshop is attractive to the tweens. Yes, Sailor, it worries me that the economic models, there's something we don't know going on. Yes, putting the tobacco in does restrict the draw, Phil. That's wise words from a pipe maker there. Hey, Tim Fournier and Couch both showing up at the same time. That's suspicious. Michael, you know I can't answer that question. Oh, my temper's over here. Should be 24. Corvette Jim is making vacation plans to get away from that stressful retirement. Good deal there, Jim. Welsh Piper, there are different versions of Old Joe Krantz. There's like a white label and a blue label and a red label and a pink label. I don't know. I've never had them. Yeah, Jim PM, those Bob Brunowski blends. I mean, Haunted Bookshop, Old Joe Krantz, and Pegasus. If I could have No other tobaccos, I'd be a happy man. MTMTB, is Old Joe Krantz sweeter than Pegasus? That's hard to say because Pegasus has Black Cavendish in it, which gives it a different kind of sweetness. I'd probably say that Pegasus is a bit more. It's a bit more. This is going to sound bad, but sugary sweet. It's like a high note sweetness, whereas Old Joe Krantz is more of a deep, what I always call a caramel sweetness. 24 times what? Michael, you're going to get me in trouble. Ah, you're both trying rustica, Tim. No, we got to do that. So unless you've already done it, Tim, let me know if I can talk about this. If so, I will. It's a good point, Beowulf and Miss Kathy. I mean, economics often don't make sense, but there's some basic principles of economics, like if your company's not making money, it's not good. I miss. Have I ever had burley twist? Tony, I have not had burley twist. Sounds good though. Doug Owens, 75 degrees and sunny in Paulsboro, Washington. Finally some summer. Good deal. That's a wise way to put it, Phil. Yeah, Jim PM, I'm looking forward to retirement too, but I hear a lot of people say that it's not what you think it is. Okay, Tim, I will. I'm retiring in some number of years, and it's a range where I say one number and then my wife says a number that is my number plus about 10. So, interesting. All the Pipers having RDF and coffee. That sounds good. And anybody that knows me knows I'm frantically trying to remember what RDF is. I know the F is probably flake. It'll come to me. Rich dark flake. There we go. The dismal science. There you go, Doug. And Drop Bear Woodworks. How you doing, Glenn? Good to see you tonight. So I'm thinking of doing a day trip to the beach for my wife's birthday. And we live relatively close to the Jersey Shore, so we're about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, depending. And we don't often go there because it's not what it used to be. Oh, Tim's smoking Mad Fiddler. That's good stuff. Good point, Umdrum. Believe me, I've had enough of Hallmark lately. It is Christmas in July. Yeah, the insurance is a big deal, Clarence. I mean, fortunately, my job allows me to keep the insurance after I retire, but I have to pay for it. I'm doing the same, St. David's, trying to build a cellar for retirement. Although at the rate I'm going through the haunted bookshop, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Patrick's smoking 2-year-old spiced maple truffle Virginia burley with maple rum topping in a Phoenix 03 rusticated bent apple. That sounds good. Yes, Jim, you do need to get your shop back up. I hear there's a vacuum in the pipe repair and restoration world that needs to be filled. Say hi to Snooky. Okay, Michael. I did the same thing, St. David's. My grandparents had a house in Wildwood, so I used to go down there as soon as school closed and live with my grandmother. My grandfather would commute every weekend, and then he'd take usually the month of August off for vacation. But the reason I think I'm going to take her to Wildwood. You know, we've both been on this odd, well, we've done it now, but we went on this AIP protocol diet, which is basically a paleo diet that you stay on for 90 days and then you start to add things back and find out what you're sensitive to. And this wasn't a weight loss thing. It was just, you know, I had a lot of issues post chemo and she's had some issues. She's diabetic. And so we thought it would be a good idea to give it a try. And we're finding we're actually sensitive to a lot of stuff. And some of it you can build back up to, but some of it is, you know, problematic. And she's had some issues with gluten. But she really likes hot dogs and hamburgers. So I don't know if you're familiar with Maui D'Antonio, I think is his name. I know him from YouTube, but also from Instagram. He has one of the highest rating hot dog places in New Jersey, and it's near the Wildwood beachfront. I don't know if it's on the boardwalk. I don't know exactly where it is. I haven't been there yet, but I've sort of become a bit of a friend of his through Instagram, and I'm hoping that we can go to the beach and then go visit him. He's a pipe smoker. He said bring your pipe if you come, and he said that if she brings buns he'll use them, so that would be great. She'll be able to enjoy one of his rather unique looking hot dog creations, and we'll have a good time. Yes, St. David's, Cape May is nice. I would like to get back there. I haven't been there in a really long time. Paul the Piper used a clay pipe for the first time, and yes, they do get hot, Paul. And Drop Bear says he's smoking a fine shag cut of Virginia and Turkish tobaccos in a horizontal disposable tobacco burning device paired with a coffee. Good. I'm sensitive, Tim? Or somebody else is sensitive? Email Jeremy at CND. He might FedEx ground 500 pounds of haunted bookshop. Not if he's pressing it all, Piper time. Yes, Jim PM, you do have to have callous fingers, or learn the best way to hold them, which is, I haven't found one. Always burn something. Oh, Tim, that's a great t-shirt idea. Humdrum is smoking Yuli's Pride of Wisconsin in a Savinelli Spring 793. Fantastic. Doug's asked if anybody's tried SPC Hogshead Virginia Cake. Not I. And Gary Edminster's got vanilla custard in his navy mirror with some Dos Equis. Very nice. So I was talking to my buddy Tim Fournier, and Tim has a tin of Rustica, and he hasn't opened it yet, and he's never had Rustica. And he thought it would be interesting, because I've got a couple tins of Rustica here. He thought it'd be interesting if we did a tin opening and impressions type video of Rustica, and we can watch Tim turn green. So we're gonna do that. We have to work out a date, Tim, but we're gonna do it some Friday soon. Something to look forward to, and Tim's always a lot of fun, so he'll entertain you while I sit quietly and laugh. Oh no! Oh, Couch, that poor girl. The god dogter had to have 2 teeth pulled. Poor Ilva. They grew incorrectly as a puppy. $1,500. Wow. But she's worth it, Couch. Tobacco Pipes International. How you doing, Mark? Good to see you tonight. Piper said is asking, how about Haunted Bookshop and a Friday Savinelli? I just had it. And we'll take bets. Yes, we'll do a pool on how long it'll take Tim to turn green. Oh, they haven't been pulled yet. Okay. Are they back teeth or front teeth? Or I don't know that it matters. It's going to be unhappy either way. Phil may take himself to the vet. Yeah. Phil, you should try the old Three Stooges thing with the string tied to the doorknob. There have been times when I've considered it. I hate going to the dentist. I've got a good one that I enjoy going to. Of course, he always finds something wrong. It's kind of like taking your car for an inspection to the dealer. You know they're going to find something wrong. Disc Lover buys bulk and mixes his own. That's great. Working on a mix using Sutliff product consisting of... I'm going to have to put on my glasses for that, Disc Lover. I loved your t-shirt idea, Tim. I just didn't want to repeat it. Consisting of TS1R Red Virginia, Dark Stowe Virginia, and Louisiana Perique. That sounds delicious. Big Country Briar. Oh, Cole, that's awful. 40 minutes on the phone with Hulu tech support. Now I'm getting booed from Tim. Yes, Humdrum Uli does have some good blends. Northwest Piper, doing fine. How are you this evening? I did miss that story, Phil. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, Bear Wolf and Miss Kathy, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I try to avoid the doctors and dentists as much as possible. But I've been lucky. I've gone at the right times. Glum Chum Piper, how you doing? Chad is moving fast tonight. We got a good crowd in tonight. Must be nothing on TV. Fiddler gets salty at the end, just like Tim's disposition. Excuse me. Wow. That sometimes happens to me. The problem is when it happens, I sometimes sneeze for a good 10 to 15 sneezes straight, so we might have to stop the audio or something. Oh, that's kind of you, Tim. I'm glad to be your TV. Yeah, Phil, I've had some dentist talks with Cliff too, and he makes me not want to go. No, he's not done that. I'm just teasing. Elon backed out of buying Twitter. I'm not surprised. Well, he did the right thing. He revealed just how unreal Twitter is. You know, just how many fake accounts there are, and that says something about the information people are getting there. Ron Hardcrackers is having Bob's Chocolate Flake and a Peterson Capit Bulldog, and we won't tell Bob. DDT, yes, I'm the same. I mean, we watch a couple of things. We watch Midsummer tonight, but I don't watch live TV. I haven't watched live network TV in many years. Yeah, I saw that disc Glover about matches, pipe stuff, and what Sarge is doing for the family there. So we'll just have to wait and see as information becomes available. Tim hits the infector when he sneezes. Sarge is a good guy, Phil. Oh, Glumchum, sorry to hear about the neck and back pain there. Hope that resolves for you. All's fantastic here. And Drop Bear is afraid of Cliff. I don't blame you. I'm sure it is hot, sailor. And yeah, having that electricity included is a big deal, huh? Yeah, me TV sometimes, St. David's. Although even that, I watch Svengoolie on Saturday nights, and that's about it. I can't imagine losing that much money, Northwest Piper. I can't even imagine having that much money. But God bless him for what he's done. You know, and I see Lord Hogarth is saying that he saw him at a restaurant and he was literally vibrating with energy. The guy does not lack energy. And, you know, I know there's people that love him and people that hate him. I've never really liked him that much, to be honest. And it's got nothing to do with Twitter or anything else. It just, he kind of rubs me the wrong way. But I can't deny that he's done some amazing stuff, and he's really good at taking different novel technologies and bringing them together into something really new and exciting. Big Country Briar has haunted bookshop in the Friday Sassini and all is right with the world. That can fix things, can it? Corvette Jim's asking, what is TV? Yeah, it'd be nice if it went the way of corded phones, and I was going to say TVs that you had to get up and change the channel, but they've already gone that way in their TVs. Michael K says his old friend Florence told the dentist to meet her at the elevator with the needle. Oh, yeah, St. David's, that changes it completely. Yeah, it is fun to pipe spot on the old shows. It definitely is. My wife is like your friend Florence, Michael. She hates going to the dentist, and she has to be gassed. She can't have even a cleaning done without being gassed because she just can't handle it. And she goes to the same dentist that I do, and he's really nice. You know, he's become kind of a friend, and he takes good care of her. So she can handle that. She still doesn't like it, but at least she knows that she's going to be taken care of, and he's not going to, you know, cause undue pain. Me, on the other hand, I think he sometimes goes out of his way to kind of make up for it. Glum Chum's having a half and half Sir Walter mix tonight. That sounds good. Swap the TV and pick up an old radio. Oh, Tony, that's, you know, if life were that easy, but problem with the old radios is that there's new programs on them. The Dennis skit on the Carol Burnett show is hilarious. I think I remember that one, Cliff, and it is hilarious. Phil. Yeah, that's a good example there, Cole, Big Country Briar. He said in an interview with Elon Musk, he created Tesla as a development for SpaceX. And, you know, it's interesting. We did the exact opposite. We developed the whole NASA program and the moonshot, and then we took all the technology from that and used it in unique ways. Here's a guy that knows what he wants to do and develops the technology first. Jim PM has his grandpa's old Silverstone radio where can of Prince Albert was always perched within reach of his armchair. That's beautiful, Jim. Stony Lawn Cottage Pipe, good to see you. Great to have you here for the local program. That works, Tim. Turntable and some Jerry Rafferty LPs. I really like, so I've got these Google speakers and I got a Sirius XM account for the car, but I can play, you know, the 40 station, I can play the classic country music, I can play classical music, so I can kind of create my own radio. Like they've got the old time radio, things like the Shadow and Johnny Dollar and all that stuff. Uh, I really like that a lot, and I will occasionally put on the radio for Phillies games. The regular, what they now call terrestrial radio, and of course I like the ham radio, but that's sadly dying because there's digital methods that are easier. Brian Dawkins, Hallicrafter shortwave. Is there still shortwave worth listening to these days, Brian? I used to have a little shortwave that I'd take out back at night and had a lot of fun with it, but that was like 20 years ago, and last time I got it out, it just wasn't anything on. St. David's, thank you. You have a great evening, my friend. Tony used to have a 38 Philco radio that he restored. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Phil wants to know how serious my XM account is. Ha ha ha. Well, Michael, I will be avoiding Sirius XM Radio Classics all next week. No, Phil, you don't need the Morse code anymore for the ham operator's license. And, it disappoints me, but at the same time, I'm glad they did it because it allows more young people to get into it. I think it's important that more people get into it. But one of the things I'm really interested in is low power, long distance ham radio, and you gotta use Morse code for that. There's just no way around it. So I've been slowly working my way into that. And by slowly, I mean I haven't done anything in about a year and a half. Oh, Tim, that's potentially good news. Paul Johnson. Hello, Paul. Good to see you tonight. Oh, that would be cool, Phil. I would love a pipe with a Morse code rustication. Voodoo, nobody actually knows what ham stands for. There's a couple of different stories about it. Supposedly there were 3 guys up in Connecticut, I think, that set up the first station there, and their initials, the initials of their last name were H, A, and M. But I don't think anybody really knows. Yeah, Disc Lover, it's a lot of folks have that experience of, learning to smoke a pipe because of the online community. It used to be the local brick and mortar, you'd meet guys that could help you, but those don't exist anymore. Yes, Cole, that is a great scene. But unfortunately, that's not the kind of thing they play at Christmas in July. Mark Vanyar wants to know if Elon knows how to make rope tobacco. I don't think so. Yes, Sailor, that's what I found too. There were a couple of religious stations, and I'd get like Chinese that I obviously can't understand. Top center above shank and rotate around the bowl. That would be pretty cool, Phil. I don't think it stands for hand audio microphone voodoo, but hey, it's as good as anybody else's guess. Tim says ham radio reminds him of a sandwich he once had. Maybe I'm not squinting hard enough. It could be, Phil. Corvette Jim, where'd you come up with that one? As much as Pooh missed Piglet, he did enjoy the BLT. All right, Humdrum, you have a great evening and good weekend. Thanks for joining us. Ponderance of a Gravedigger, hello. Good to see you tonight. Yeah, shortwave was fun back in well, back in the day, 15, 20 years ago. Because you'd get like there was one show that I used to listen to that was what sounded like an elderly woman. Of course, you never know. I forget her. I think her name was Marion, and her show was called Marion's Attic, and she would play records that she had, which were all like 20s and 30s records, and it was really interesting because she'd tell stories about them and stuff. You'd get the crazies too, but they were entertaining sometimes. Jim, be nice. Oh, Ponderance, I had a very nice 4th of July. I hope everyone else did. Yeah, Couch, you've been getting into that LSBCB. I've been meaning to look into it a bit more. Patrick, I don't remember, but if they were from the 20s, they probably were 78s. Jeffrey Feinberg, howdy. you're never too late, Jeffrey. Hey, and it's Everett, the Urban Hermit. How you doing, Everett? That does make sense, Phil. So it's another theory that the landline telegraphers that were obviously very very good at Morse code because that's what they did for a living would call the amateurs hams because they weren't very good compared to their level of skill. Jim PM still has a nice traditional brick and mortar in the Dayton area. Love the place. Continue to support it even though at times you're overpaying. Yeah, you got to support those things. Glad to hear you're well there, Urban Hermit. And you're never too late. Little Piper Todd, how you doing, Todd? Good to see you tonight. Beowulf and Miss Kathy are calling in tonight. Will you go ahead and have a good evening and a great weekend, folks. Thanks for joining us tonight. And Piper on the 45. Just got off work and got some supper down. Well, glad you could join us. Ham-handed operators. That sounds right, Michael. That sounds right. Of course, now the hams are probably the world's best at Morse code. Because who uses it other than ham operators? That's okay, Phil. It's not plagiarism if you put quotes on it. I think you had quotes. The Urban Hermit's been smoking the Friday 7L and breaking in the new Rossi Rubino Antico 8673. Nice. Yes, Sailor, I think that a lot of folks have switched over to digital methods. And I've played with digital modes a bit on ham radio, and it's amazing because, with no antenna, just an internet connection, you can talk to people all over the world. It's really cool, but it kind of takes all the, I guess, I don't know if romance is too strong of a word, but it takes all the romance out of it. It's still a hobby ponderance. I mean, there's not as many folks doing it now, but I've got 4 or 5 groups in this area that all have repeater stations and have nets at different times of day that you can join in. So it's still active, just not what it was, even 10 years ago. Didn't know there was a word count limit, Jim PM. Sorry about that. Not on my end. But he had a 7-watt garage door opener, huh, Phil? I wonder if the magazine would still be around if it was The Hermit and The Hermit's Monthly, Tim. All right, Welsh Piper, you have a great evening and a good weekend. Thanks for joining us. There are such programs, Michael. I mean, it's kind of silly. People want to do this long distance, low power operating, and they have a computer set up to do it for them. And they make connections, which are basically they send out a Morse code sequence saying, "Are you there?" And they get a response back, "Yes, I am," and then that's considered a contact. But they never actually talk to the person. Oh, cool, Sailor. Straight key, yeah. Very nice. Ponderance has a huge Sherlock Holmes pipe. We wouldn't laugh. We'd probably be envious. The disc lover is now given the ham version that I said at the beginning. It was the initials of the first amateur wireless station operators, and that's one of the theories. But there's a bunch of others. That one always made sense to me just because it seems historical, but people don't believe it. Do I have any plans for the weekend? Asked Tony513. Yeah. Yes. Any interesting enough to talk about? I'm going to do some work down here in the morning. I know there's something I've got to do outside, but I cannot remember what it is, which means I probably won't do it. Oh, and I got to go scout a location. Our buddy Texas Piper, Eddie, is in the area, and we're going to try to get together next week. So I want to see if there's a park that I think would be perfect for this, because he doesn't have a lot of time, I don't have a lot of time, and we're trying to find a place where we can have a couple pipes. So I think I know a place, but I just want to check it out and make sure there's parking and stuff. So I might drive down there tomorrow or Sunday. Cole's asking, what's the farthest I've talked to someone on radio? Well, my radio, I don't have an antenna and I don't have a lot of power. I've used the digital modes and I've talked to people in Europe, but that doesn't really count because it's going through the internet. With just my little antenna and radio, I've talked to folks in Ohio. And one time I talked to somebody in Florida, but the conditions were just perfect for that. Usually it's much more local. Yeah, Lord Hogarth, I miss Usenet. It was enjoyable, but it got not so enjoyable eventually, as all things do. Phil used to mess with the tower listeners, huh? Falcon leader. Jim PM, that sounds like a good weekend. Hanging pictures in his new daughter's new apartment and assembling his grandson's Hot Wheels bed. That's that sounds like a lot of weekends that folks have. Not doing anything you thought you would be doing, but you'll make the most of it. Sneaking a pipe or two when you can. Yeah, if the weather's right and if the sunspot activity is in your favor, you can actually talk pretty far. It's amazing. Couch, this is a 7LE622 with a custom stem. Ponderance of a Gravedigger got a Levang cleef pipe today, and he's loving it. Very nice. Oh, cool. Cool, Sailor. 100 watts. Wow. I haven't been paying attention to the sunspots, Phil. I don't, we might be. I know there was a lot of excitement about a year ago that the activity was going to kick up. And for you guys that don't know, when there's more sunspot activity, it ionizes the atmosphere and you get longer distance with certain wavelengths. I got a lot of scotch to drink before this is over. Ponderance feels like the villain in The Good and the Bad and the Ugly when he smokes his pipe. Yeah, AM radio was really good at bouncing at night, Michael. I mean, we have a station here in Philadelphia called KYW, which is an AM station. And I don't know if this is still true, but I used to be able to listen to that at night when I lived in Pittsburgh. And my brother up in Vermont listened to it at night. Just phenomenal. Ron says they were playing chess and exchanging recipes on the ham radio with Morse code. Well, that kind of tells you why it's a dying art, because it's much easier to do those things by email now. Hot Wheels aren't only for kids indeed, Brian. And I saw Lord Hogarth earlier saying how good it is to hear the kids are still into it, and I agree. Oh yeah, the ocean would be a great ground plane, wouldn't it? Because of the salt, very conductive. That's cool, Sour. Oh, Tim. Tim's doing a Steely Dan earwig for me. Which is great because I normally don't get them. He actually picked a song I know. Brian collects old Hot Wheels cars. I don't know if Corvette Jim is still on, but I think he collected Hot Wheels as well. I'm out of old Joe Krantz. We've got 4 minutes to go, but I still have a lot of this to go, so. I'm going to do another round of Haunted Bookshop. And if you got someplace better to be, I'll just sit here and talk to myself. Yeah, I like reading a book, smoking a pipe while I read a book. I see some folks talking about that. Of course, I smoke a pipe when I do most things. So. It is a great song, Jim. Yeah. I like Steely Dan. Alright, so we got Haunted Bookshop in the Friday Savinelli again. Where's my... Oh, there it is. Oh no, Everett's almost out of Haunted Bookshop. Don't tell him what I showed you earlier today. Oh, slot cars. That's pretty cool, MTB. DDT, that's true. Some people collect old Hot Wheels, some people collect old Joe Grants. All right, Jim, you thanks for joining us tonight. You have a great evening and a great weekend, buddy. I don't collect Haunted Bookshop, Codger Jim. I have a gathering of Haunted Bookshop. No, Everett, it wasn't 10 pounds. I took advantage of the 17% sale over the 4th of July at Pipes and Cigars. Tim wonders if Peg will get his Steely Dan reference. If not, it will come back to her. Old Joe Krantz gives Ponderance the hiccups. I bought 2 pounds, just another 2 pounds. Tony was asking about rain earlier. It sounds like it's raining right now. Tim's asking who was doing background vocals on Peg. I do not know. Michael, honestly, I have to defend myself. I did buy it because it was on sale because I've got more than enough. But I figure the price is only going to go up, and I am worried about this whole haunted bookshop cake thing, where I think it's going to wind up diverting the supply, and then Everett will get it all. Michael McDonald, really, Tim? That's interesting. I would not have guessed Michael McDonald did backup on Peg. Patrick's chiming in with he knew it was Michael McDonald. Oh, several people did. Jim PM also. Yeah, I think we are having a thunderstorm, Gary. Yeah, Tony, I've been through tornadoes. When we lived in Atlanta, there was one that went by just about a quarter mile away, and it did sound like a train was going by. It was really scary because we heard that a lot. You know, we always heard, "Oh, it sounds like a train," but when you actually hear it, um, in your case, it sounded more like a souped-up vacuum cleaner. That's interesting. Really, Tim? So Michael McDonald was a member of Steely Dan before becoming a Doobie Brother. That's I really didn't know that. That's very interesting. So Patrick is saying check out a gent named Rick Beto who does a series called What Makes This Song Great. Oh, that sounds pretty cool, Patrick. I will look into that. You had Michael McDonald stuck in your head all day, Phil? That's that's not good. I guess it depends on the song. Yeah, that's true there, Urban Hermit. We do have old Joe Krantz to fall back on, and in your case, Big and Burley. 60 degrees in Rhode Island. Wow, that sounds nice, Ponderance. Ah, thanks, Phil. I appreciate that. It is playing in my head now. Jeff Skunk Baxter was his bandmate in Steely Dan, and he brought him into the Doobie Brothers. Interesting. And Couch says that Rick Beto grew up in Rochester. What a Fool Believes. Not a bad song, Patrick. And Couch is saying Rick Beto. Oh, I'm going to have to check out Rick Beto. I don't know him. Name that pipe. You have a good weekend too, my friend, and thanks for joining us. We're running a little late, guys, because I'm very slowly drinking my scotch. So Phil, you go out of your way to earwig us. I've been thinking more about Instagram Reels. Not because I like them, but because you can put music in them, and it doesn't seem like people get copyright strikes for that. You know, here if I play, like last Halloween, I played the Monster Mash for a few minutes during the intro, and man, before the live stream was done, I had a copyright strike on that. Ponderance is having some Knob Creek. Very nice. Thank you, Patrick. I really don't want to rush through it because it's quite nice. Oh man, Sailor, that's hot. Feels like 109 at 1930, which is 7:30 for all you folk that need translation. Tony, other people might want to weigh in on it, but I did a video on Sunday about the Haunted Bookshop cake versus the original Haunted Bookshop. James Stumbo was kind enough to send me a sample of the cake because I didn't want to buy it. Yeah, I pressed Haunted Bookshop before. It was a very odd experience, actually. I don't know how many of you guys saw that video, but I just didn't get very much flavor out of it. It was like they got rid of all the stuff I like in Haunted Bookshop. So if I sing the Monster Mash and play that, it'll be good? Okay, Cole, I'll do that. Play it backwards, Tim says. You guys have to let me know if you'd rather me sing the Monster Mash or play it backwards. I'll do either. Oh, don't get me started on making money, Aeneas Dad. I'm so mad at YouTube right now. You know, I have my channel very lightly monetized because it's ridiculous. You know, I make these videos and I don't care about it that much, but at least it was, you know, paying a little bit to keep the lights on in the shop and stuff. And I wasn't talking to you. Got a new phone that thought I was talking to it. And I mean, so I do the live stream. At the time, I was doing a Wednesday video pretty reliably, and I do a Sunday video. And they were putting a ton of commercials in the videos, a ton of ads. And, you know, people didn't like it and everything. And, you know, it would be like $12 in a month, which, yeah, isn't worth it. So I shut down a lot of the ads and stuff. Well, then YouTube decided that they were going to monetize channels whether you care or not. So you still get the ads. And I turned off all but the couple that you get in the I think it's the beginning, maybe it's the beginning and the end, I don't remember. So, you know, if I'm lucky in a month, it'll be like $10, and you don't get anything from YouTube until you accumulate $100, and then they give you the $100. So this is silly. You know, this is, you know, I'm going a year to get $100, which, you know, is nice. I mean, at least I can buy a couple tins of tobacco or buy a new microphone or whatever. And then I started to do the tip thing. Well, if I look at YouTube on, you know, Thursday, it'll say your estimated earnings are, you know, $9. And then I get a tip for $5. Well, if I look on Saturday morning, or Saturday evening, actually, it takes 24 hours for this to cycle. On Friday night, it will say $14 because it's $9 plus the $5. But on Saturday night, it'll be down to like $8. So they're actually deducting money away to compensate for the tips. And I can't prove it, but it's happened very, very consistently. So the monetization thing is useless, but if I turn it off, they still monetize and they still put the ads in. So I figure, you know, getting $8 or $9 a month is off of them is better than letting them keep all the money. We drink the mash, the sour mash. That's funny, Gary. And Tim's taking it up. Yeah, Seller, there's all kinds of stuff you can do, but I don't want to do subscriptions and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think people should have to pay for this nonsense. And it's not like I'm trying to make a bunch of money off of this. I just wanted to be able to, like I got a new microphone, and that's, it's good, and I'm glad I can do it. But it's nice if I don't have to take money out of the household budget to do that. I don't want a sponsor, Bill. Yeah, I don't. Well, the problem is that would be great if Cornell and Deal wanted to advertise on our on multiple YouTube channels, but they can't because YouTube won't allow it because it's tobacco. And I really don't mean to whine about it. I hate when people whine about this kind of stuff. It just annoys me that they're that unscrupulous, I'll say. Yeah, I don't want to do something like that, Phil. Phil's saying try new blends live from Cornell and Deal. I don't want to do that. Because, I like to be honest about things. Like I don't think they would like my haunted bookshop cake video from Sunday because I didn't have anything good to say about it. Haven't heard from Larry Higgins in a while there, Ponderments. Yeah. Although I'm not doing a great job of keeping up on videos, so maybe somebody else has seen him lately. Sponsored by Nimrod, a company that went out of business 40 years ago. That's a good one, Cole. Sponsored by Phil Rivera Pipes. I hope you're right about that, Mark. About the rulings. I hope you're right. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Oh, Larry's a great guy. And YouTube's been good to me for a number of reasons. I mean, when I had the pipe repair business going, most of my business came from YouTube, and I appreciate that. And I don't think it would have ever gotten off the ground if it wasn't for YouTube. Um, YouTube's got me through some rough times in my life. Just being able to sit down here and talk with you guys, and it's very therapeutic. And I enjoy this. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying, if YouTube quote demonetized my channel tomorrow, I would stop making. That's not why I make them. I'm just trying to keep a little bit of balance in my life with the monetization. But I'd probably not worry too much about the balance if it went away. Absolutely, NAS Dad. I would gladly sponsor Phil, and every time I smoke one of his pipes, I talk about how wonderful they are. No payment needed for that. The product speaks for itself. Smarty Bob, how you doing, buddy? You're very late because we're late, but it's good to see you. The Urban Hermit has over 400 subscribers, and he's shocked by that. Well, there's 47 folks in the room right now. If you're not subscribed to the Urban Hermit, go do it now. We'll surprise him even more. Phil loves to make pokers, huh? Oh, you're still on the painkillers. How's it going, Bob? I hope you're recovering well. Gary Edminster has an alpha pipe. They made some nice pipes, Gary, and they are long out of business, sadly. ENAS Dad has tens of subscribers. Voodoo says that his live chat says 7? Really? Are we down to 7 people? Mine says 42 now. Paul's got 2.5 subs. Yeah, Michael, it is kind of funny, but it's business, you know. Tim, you have 0 subs? Well, I'm glad to see you're out of the negative numbers. All right, Piper on the 45. You have a good evening and great weekend, buddy. Maybe be able to smoke a pipe in another week. Well, I hope so, Smarty Bob. Voodoo says it never changed from the start. Well, I don't care, really. I mean, I love that people show up to chat with me, and if it's only 4 or 7, I'm okay with that. DDT has a meatball sub. Nothing wrong with that. I'd kill for a meatball sub. This not eating bread stuff is getting to me. Paul Johnson wants to know the name of the special cotton that makes the Zippo fluid last. Well, Paul, I'll tell you, but I've got to preface it by saying I don't think it makes the Zippo fluid last. I think it just lets you put more Zippo fluid into the pipe, into the lighter. And over time, I think that stops being true. I don't know if it compresses or what the deal is, but I'm not as impressed with it as I was when I first tried it. It's called Japanese cotton or bacon cotton. Those are the 2 names I know it by. I found it on Amazon as Japanese cotton, but apparently you can go to like vape shops and get bacon cotton. Give it a try and see if it works for you, but I'm not impressed, to be honest. I think it's actually, over time, it's become less reliable than the original. I forget what the stuff is that Zippo uses. It's not regular cotton, it's rayon, I think. Well, guys, believe it or not, I'm through the haunted bookshop. I know you're going to believe it. And I've got basically one swig left here, so we're going to be wrapping things up now. I want to thank you all for joining me. Really always enjoy Friday nights, and you guys make it possible. So thank you all for that. I'll be back on Sunday with something or the other. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but oh, you know what? I might do a first smoke in that new Trevor Talbert pipe that I got. Did I show you guys that? I think I showed this off on Sunday, but just so you get to see it. It's a squat bulldog. I'm very excited about that. So I'll probably smoke that on Sunday and set that down before I drop it. So something to look forward to. And of course, we'll be back next Friday. And maybe Tim will be with me. I don't know. We got to work out the date for that, Tim. So thank you all. You all have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week.